Hello, this is Sean O'Malley. Welcome to Atlanta Braves Chop Live again, and we have another special guest with us. We have Gwyn Walker Newman, and she is the daughter of many people know as Chief Nakahoma and Levi Walker, and he has since passed away. And but she loves to share his story and wants his story to continue. And he was with the Braves organization about 20 years roughly. And so many fans have love and affection remembering the days of the TP being in center field. And also we have Katie. I'm going to say, hey, Katie, she's our newest Atlanta Braves Shop Live.
Hello, Gwen. Thank you for joining us today.
Sure, nice to be here.
Great, great. So Gwen, again, thanks for joining us. Growing up in watching the Braves in the 80s, I remember seeing Chief Nakahoma, in center field and with the TP out there. And but let's go ahead and get started from the very beginning. No, he was your father, so you had those special moments of seeing your father going as being a chief. Go ahead and tell us who your father was from the very beginning, where he grew up, a little bit about his childhood and just growing up. That way we get to know who Chief Nakahoma was to being an adult.
Okay, he grew up in northern Michigan, Petoskey and Charlevoix. He had four sisters, so that was home. When he became a teenager, he left home and he hitchhiked to Florida. He was on a bus on the way back, and he was fixing to join the army, and he met my mama on the Greyhound bus at the Greyhound bus station in Atlanta. So I'm always telling people, thank God for Greyhound, or I wouldn't be here. So yeah, we lived in Forest Park, Georgia. That's where I grew up. I had a brother who was 5 years younger than me. He's recently passed. God rest his soul. But we were blessed. He started the Braves in 1969, and he took us on many adventures as Chief Nakahoma. We got to go to fall festivals. We went to all kind of the meetings that he went to go see. Cub Scouts. He loved the Cub Scouts. We went to hospitals to even see children on their dying bed. I mean, it was a wonderful life. We were totally blessed.
So I know what tribe, I already know, but just so our fans know, tell us a little bit about what tribe that he is from and a little bit about that tribe.
We're the Little Traverse Bay Band of Ottawa Indians. Me, my brother, my dad, and my his grandchildren are all registered members of the tribe. It's in Petoskey, Harbor Springs area. We have two casinos. One's in Harbor Springs. I mean, one's in Petoskey and one's in Mackinac City. So they when he was a child, they all of my aunts and uncles and a lot of my cousins ended up in boarding school. So that's a real thing. We've heard many stories about boarding schools, and Dad was a member of that too.
And one of the things, as far as and you mentioned about you met your mom at the Greyhound, and that in Georgia, you know what the Greyhound is, right?
Oh yeah.
I've even been on the Greyhound. And so, was he ever in the military, or did he want to join the military? You want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, he joined. That's why he was traveling to Atlanta because he was joining the military. He was in the army. Him and Mom were lived in state. They lived in Columbus, Georgia, after they got married. And I was born on the other side of Columbus, Georgia, in Phoenix City, Alabama. So I get teased about that a lot.
That's pretty funny because I was born in Columbus, Georgia, and my mom lives in Phoenix City, Alabama.
Oh, just the opposite. Wow.
Exactly. And my partner Ray, he's from Columbus. And I grew up so close to, the Chattahoochee is an Indian name. The Chattahoochee River
Absolutely.
Separates Columbus and Phoenix City with that river there. And when I went out to the front of my house, I could hear cows and a donkey. And we were so close to the river. That was actually in Alabama, the cows and the donkey. That's how close we grew up to the river,
I get it.
to
That's
Alabama.
fun.
Yeah, but that's pretty interesting. You were born in Phoenix City, and he was in Columbus in the military. Now, did y'all live on post or off post?
They lived off post.
Okay,
My
so
mom
he
was my mom was from Riverdale.
Okay. Do you want to
Yeah.
share a little bit about his military, like what he did when he was in the military, or?
I really don't know a whole lot about what he did in the military.
Mhm.
I just know he was in it because I was so small.
Yeah, great.
I know he
So,
was stationed at Fort Benning. He tried to sneak out of duty one time to go home to come see my mom. I know that.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fort Benning, that's a special place for a lot of the military families around Georgia. I happen to have both of my grandparents, both sides of my grandparents are actually buried at Fort Benning. So Fort Benning's
Oh,
a very
wow.
special place. Yeah. And so I know that Chief Nakahoma, they said originally the idea came up in Milwaukee when a high schooler was kind of playing the part of an Indian, had a little smoke ball or something. And when they moved to Atlanta, they had a particular individual or two that did it. And then your father approached the Atlanta Braves and said, "Hey, I'm a real Indian. Why don't you let me play the part?" So do you want to take over from there and share that
Oh,
story?
oh yeah, I got a great story on that one. So he had went up there a couple of times, trying to get the job, and there was a young white guy playing the part, and I think the first time, couple of times they turned him away. Well, the next time he went up there in full regalia, he wanted the job. So he went up there in full regalia and went to the secretary's office asking for the general manager, and she picked up the phone and called him and said, "There's an Indian out here that wants to see you." So we always had a big joke about that because I'm sure she was surprised when a full dressed Indian come in the office.
I'll hop in here real fast. What was it like for you growing up with a father who was such a beloved public figure? Was that such a cool experience for you? I would be bragging to all my friends, I think.
It was really great. My brother was more of the bragger. I just mostly uh, when people ask me about it, I tell them, but I didn't really brag about it. I do now, though. I do now. Yeah, I definitely brag about it now because he was so special. I mean, when I was a child, he was great. He'd say, "Smile, you look prettier when you smile," and thank God he told me that because let me tell you, that got me through life because
Mhm.
I smile all the time. And he used to go to at Halloween in fall. We'd go to school festivals. You know how they have carnivals and everything. We'd
Mhm.
go to 8 or 10 of them and come home. You know, you always got little toys and stuff. At Christmas time, we got 2 or 3 stockings where he'd went to places, and it was just full of joy. He used to pull in the driveway, and he'd say, "My kids would be mad if I didn't have something for them." They'd come running out to the car wondering what I had because he always brought something home from somewhere he went. He was great. It was great.
Oh,
And
cool.
tomorrow is 2 years since he's been gone, so this is a blessing to be able to share this today.
Yeah, absolutely. And as his daughter, how do you personally view the conversations about the Native American representation, especially when it comes to your father's role?
I feel the same way my father did. Worry about the Lakotas out west that are starving. Let's worry about the natives that need the attention brought to them, not what I'm doing. My dad taught children all about Native American history that would have never knew anything about it when they came to that TP. He didn't misrepresent Native Americans in any kind of way. He brought attention to them, and it was great. And even I learned a lot by watching him that way.
What do you think qualities from your father's legacy in his life do you try to take away and kind of implement into your own life as you continue his memory?
Learning to be uh, learning to more about my history, about my heritage, talking to people about my heritage, being kind, funny. He was always making jokes.
Hmm.
I'm a kind, loving person, and I love people just like he did. He didn't meet a stranger. He loved people, and I don't meet a stranger either. Me and my mom will go places, and I'll just start talking to somebody. She'll say, "Did you know them?" No,
No.
no, but you sound like you did. So yeah, I definitely got that from him.
Yeah. Is there a story about your father specifically that you feel like hasn't been shared that you want people to remember? You kind of have lit up when you've talked about the fall festivals that he went to with you and
Right.
the different events. What do you think is a story that you could share?
Well, the visiting the hospitals when
Yeah.
my dad went to the hospitals to see those children on their deathbeds, and they had requested to see him before they died. He was magical with them kids. He made them smile. I watched him make them smile, and he would go to camps and tell stories. and he just lit up the kids' faces with
I'm
the
sure.
stories he could tell. I mean, if I wish I had those stories recorded. I have some of them in my brain about him going. His mom was supposed to be sending him to the store to get something with a note, and on the way back, he started playing a baseball game, and he told it so good how he hit that ball, and with then they had to use a tree branch and a apple, and
Wow.
how it went splat, and then she came running up the street after him, and he forgot he was supposed to be going to the store, and he was playing baseball, and he went and picked up the bag, and the bag fell on the ground and went splat on the ground, and it was ice cream, melted ice cream. But the kids would laugh so hard, when he told the story,
Yeah.
because he put so much emphasis in it. He was amazing.
He sounds like a true performer. And you
Oh
were
yeah.
also very open about sharing updates on his health and support with fundraising, GoFundMe. So what motivated you to speak so publicly during such a difficult time, I'm sure, for you and your family?
Because he was so loved. People loved him. They wanted to know what was going on with him. I wanted to share. So all my friends, a lot of people were always questioning me. I'm like, let me just put it out there so people really know what's going on with him.
Well, that shows a lot of strength from you, for sure.
It was hard to let him go, but if I could have had him back when he was younger, I would have fought to get him back. But when your parents are struggling, you don't want to see them struggle no more.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the most earlier times that you remember being at the ballpark with your father?
Oh, we seen 714, 715, Hank Aaron's home runs. I mean, there were up and down times there. I've seen that stadium so empty. Me and my brothers balled up in little balls and slept in those chairs behind the TV. We were drugged to those games all the time. It was not fun for us sometimes. But then other times we run around the whole stadium. We knew that stadium, we knew Atlanta Fulton County Stadium backwards and forwards. When we got to be teenagers, it was more fun, even more fun, you know.
We posted a video today on our Facebook page about when Rick Camp hit a home run in the 18th inning. It was around two o'clock in the morning, whatever. And your father was the first one to get to him after he hit that home run to kind of pat him, whatever, congratulate him hitting that home run. And so, who are some of the players that you remember, meeting and getting to talk to while you were there?
Well, Rick Camp was one of his friends.
Okay.
They were buddies. He went to his funeral. He was loyal friend to him, and of course Dale Murphy, of course Hank, Daryl Cheney, and my all-time favorite, and he's probably nobody else's, but my all-time favorite was Marty Perez. I just loved Marty Perez. Dad got me a hat signed by him, a baseball hat signed by him a few years ago, and it was so special.
So, do you remember? Tell us a little bit about the experience about when Hank Aaron hit that home run and y'all were there, and in relation to you as your family and with your father.
That was the most exciting I've ever seen it in that stadium. The most exciting. Not a lot of things happened exciting back then when the Braves were playing because they lost a lot. But yeah, that was exciting. And then when the teepee caught on fire, that was exciting. He had a smoke bomb. He used to set off smoke bombs when they hit home runs. And he said somebody had got in there and messed with them. And so they wasn't aimed the way they were supposed to be aimed, and it caught the teepee on fire. And then the time that they had they I don't know what happened exactly, but they had the losing streak, the 19 game losing streak. Yeah, that was fun.
On that topic, how did you feel about the superstition surrounding the TP being there and them winning and correlating that together? Did he kind of play into that?
Oh yeah, when they took it down, that's what it was. They took the teepee down and they lost
Right.
the 19. Oh yeah, definitely. Native Americans were known for medicine and spiritual stuff. So it was kind of cool. It
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
And after he left the Braves, he devoted a lot of his life to teaching the traditional skills and language of y'all's culture. So, how important was that work for you and your family and for him?
Oh yeah, amazing. He went to Camp Thunder, and I think it was in Molina, and worked there summers. and he had explorer groups when he was in his 30s. He had explorer groups, and I'm still friends with some of those guys. That they were teenagers then, and I was a kid, you know. But he loved all that. He loved talking about Native American heritage and teaching the things about how to survive out in the woods, how to camp, how to, how to survive if you had to. He loved it.
Do you still attend any Braves games, especially since they've moved to the new location around Vinings and the Battery area? Or are you keeping up with how they're doing?
Well, no, I haven't been there yet, but I do want to go. My heart aches a little bit about how the Braves did him when he was let go. So it's, there's a catch-22 there. But I still love the Braves. Dad
Mhm.
loved the Braves. Dad loved baseball.
Yeah.
He definitely loved baseball.
If you could describe his entire legacy in a few words, what would you say?
Oh, he was a champ. He could run fast. He was a super dad. He he was kind. He wanted to make people happy. You know, he was just great to be around. He drew a crowd. If he talked, he drew a crowd. People would come listen.
Mhm.
It was magical.
He did so many things on the field. It's amazing. I know the announcers, loved him. Skip, they talk about, I remember they were talking about him running off the mound and he was running and running a little bit slow. And he said, there he goes. He's got it kicked up now. He started running
Yeah.
faster. And so I know that they loved having him around. And he's done so many things on the field from fire on the mound. Do you remember that? That was back during his younger days, though, right? Is that something he did often that would do fire on the mound?
I seen him. He used to do hoop dance with fire too. I don't know if there's any video of that, but I seen him come home with blisters on his fingers where he had kerosene on the hoops and he blistered his fingers. I felt so sorry for him, but he was my dad, and I was a little kid. I was like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fire was amazing. We got to watch fireworks on the field. He rode a horse on the field one time. It was named Peanut Butter. He drove that little baseball cart on the field. We had fun.
Yeah.
We were blessed. We had a great time.
Now there was also the name forgets me, but there was also a lady there that was there, but then that she had some type of physical ailment, so she wasn't there that long. Do you remember the name of that? There was a female Indian that was there with them.
You're talking about Princess Winalada.
There
She
you
was a
go.
friend of the family. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to
And
share a little bit about her or what you knew of
uh,
her?
she was a friend of the family, and she's a great person. She was great with the kids too. She was just like Daddy's sidekick for a little while.
Yeah.
I think it was only for a year or two. It didn't last long.
Yeah, I think they
Me,
said she had some type of element or something like that. And so, what are some of the misconceptions about your father? Like I've seen people say, "Well, he wasn't a real Indian," and I'm thinking, like, "Yeah, he was." You know, so he can literally like people say so many things online. So, what are some of the misconceptions well, about your father that you've heard?
I've heard everything. I have to get in there and stand up for him a lot of time. I've stood up for him with people saying he was drunk. He was always drunk, you know. Dad didn't really drink that much.
Mm,
I don't remember Dad drinking that much. And then, he got diabetes, so he definitely wasn't drinking. So, I mean, everybody parties every once in a while, He went out and partied sometimes,
yeah,
And I remember him going to the bar to party sometimes.
yeah.
Shoot.
Well,
Yeah.
back then, I think that was done a whole lot.
Yeah, it was.
In the dugout, I mean, in the clubhouse and all that
Uh-huh.
stuff. That was done on a
Yeah.
regular.
Yeah, but it
And then
wasn't like
also
he was hitting fire water at the teepee or anything.
and also the misconception that your father was not an Indian.
Yeah.
I can't believe that people say stuff and they don't even actually know. No, do some research to find out. So, would you like to share a little bit about about his tribe, about growing up doing things, and how y'all are continuing with the tribe there?
Well, my tribe is a Ojibwe and a Dawa. That is our tribe. But the tribe we're registered with is a Dawa. And it's like I said, it's in Petoskey. Uh, his aunt, I mean, my aunt is known for Native American quill boxes. She makes beautiful quill boxes. She's got stuff at the museum. at the Native American Museum in Washington. Um, we just, I don't really have a lot of connection with the tribe being way down here in Georgia, but I have a niece who lives in Michigan. So we're connected. We try to stay close as possible as we can
No, I
with
know
the tribal members.
I know it may be a little bit of a sore subject, but I think something you stated on about the toward the end of his career, a lot of fans were sad to see him go. And when we posted some videos, some fans even said, "We need another Chief Nakahoma," you know. And but you want to share a little bit about that toward how that kind of concluded toward the end of his career with the Braves, and at the end of that, because when your dad was going through that, so many fans are like, "Oh man, the Braves should help him out," or you know what I'm saying? Because really, when you look at how much he got paid as Chief Nakahoma, it really wasn't that much from what they
No, it
posted
wasn't.
online. I forgot what the numbers were, but you'd be surprised on, as much dedication as he gave to the Atlanta Braves, bringing his family out, and you don't show up, the game starts at 7, you don't show up at 7, right? You have to be there way earlier than that, and you're going to stay later than that. So he gave so many years of dedication to the Atlanta Braves. And so it'd be awesome for the Braves to continue his, legacy and then continue to share about Chief Nakahoma because he was so well loved by everybody. So would you
That's
like to
true.
share a little bit about the conclusion of, I guess, his time with the Braves and a little bit about how that developed?
Well, the last I remember, he made $50 a game.
Mhm.
So he really didn't get a whole lot of money. And he got paid for his public appearances and his travel time. But when it come all down to it at the end, and I did the GoFundMe, I had people calling the Braves office trying to get them to help me, and I had nobody reach out to me.
Mhm.
It was it was a little traumatizing to me that they couldn't stand up for him for all he did for them. But it's like they drew a black line and they never would cross it.
Yeah,
Um, I don't understand it to this day. I really
yeah,
don't, because he did a lot for Atlanta.
yeah,
He really
and
did.
yeah,
And
and
he
it's,
was part of Atlanta. He was the history of Atlanta.
yeah, and it still continues. Like I said, whenever we make posts, people love that memory of Chief Nakahoma and what he did for the, because it's yeah, you have mascots and people like mascots, but he was special because he was authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's
He
like
was.
it's like generally when you get a mascot, you're trying to get something catchy, whatever the case is, and the Braves have different mascots that just haven't caught catch on. No, Blooper's done pretty good, but there's another mascot that was I forgot the name, Homer or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was
forgot
like an
about Homer.
Indian head or something like that.
Yeah.
That didn't last long. And but your father, he was probably one of the longest mascots the Braves have ever had. Definitely, I would say mostly loved Braves mascot.
Oh
And
yeah.
but I know he didn't refer to himself as a mascot. No, he, like you stated, he wanted to share about the Indian culture and somebody who was very authentic, that to try to reach the fan base. And people, they realize that they see that, right?
Yeah.
See that authenticity as well.
Yeah. Well, he met plenty of people. I mean, met Roy Clark, he met Jerry Reed, uh, Loretta Lynn, all these people, Leonard Skinner, when they came to the stadium. A lot of people that came to the stadium, he was able to meet. And, like Dad used to say, I've hung out with the lowest of lows and I've hung out with the highest of highs all the way around. And people loved him. All people loved him. He didn't have, I don't remember him having enemies. People loved him. They still love him.
Definitely.
And absolutely, since his time as the Braves mascot, I would say things have progressed in society in terms of conversations around Native American heritage and things like that. Where do you think that movement is headed next, or what steps could be done to still maintain that culture?
I think that's great that it's moving up forward. I mean, this is Native American Heritage Month. So there's a lot of Native American issues that are happening. I see Georgia's having a lot more powwows or Native American festivals. All people are allowed to come to Native American festivals. There's a misconception that it's just for natives. No, it's not. It's for all people to come learn about our heritage. Bring yourself out, enjoy yourself, go in that circle. It's spiritual. It's special. It means a lot. So yeah, I'm glad to see it coming more
It also
forefront.
definitely means a lot to me to hear the stories come from my parents and their generation, because obviously I wasn't really alive during his time on the Braves, but I get to hear how impactful that was for that generation specifically. So it's kind of continuing his legacy of storytelling, which is really cool.
It really is. You're right.
No, I think that the Braves have progressed on because recently they got connected with certain tribes that are there. I'm not sure if you've seen that where they do have certain they'll have festivals where they have Indians who come out from the different tribes and kind of correlate there. And I think they do that like in November or something like that. Or they'll post, whatever. They'll have like a particular week or something like that where they'll kind of get together. But regardless, whatever history may have held in the past, your father was definitely loved by Braves country, and is still loved to this day by Braves country. And we just wanted to do this interview because try to get some more information about your father, perhaps that fans didn't know, and also to continue his legacy. And I thought about we have an online store, and I was like, hey. Chief Nakahoma. I don't see too many t-shirts out there, coffee mugs, and so many people loved him. I said, I'm going to reach out to Miss Gwyn and ask her if it's okay. And we appreciate that. And yeah, we look forward to trying to continue, as a fan that grew up born in the mid 70s and grew up watching your father, we want to continue watching his legacy and continue to share that with the fans to come.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. It means the world.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Miss Gwen. On behalf of Atlanta Braves Chop Live, me, Sean, and Katie, we want to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to sharing this with our fans.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you
so
for
much for your
sharing.
time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Is there something that you want to leave, in essence, that your father would end like a game with, or something he would kind of sign off with?
Oh, he would say, chop on. So, you know, yeah, that
All
wasn't
right.
even really around when he was there, but he started getting into it later because he still loved them.
Awesome. Well, on behalf of Atlanta Braves Chop Live, let's chop on. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.